Welcome back, my people, to the channel where we say it as it is, where we speak truth to power and refuse to stay silent while our leaders continue to play games with the destiny of millions. Today, we're diving into one hot, explosive, and very sensitive issue that touches on everything wrong with our politics, our governance, and the way Nigeria has been hijacked by a few who believe the nation is their personal ATM. The story is simple but very loaded. Omoyele Sowore, activist and politician, has petitioned the Florida Attorney General, accusing former Rivers State Governor and current Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, of laundering public funds into properties in the United States. Yes, you heard that right. Our money, the sweat of Nigerians, allegedly being used to buy mansions abroad while ordinary citizens at home cannot afford food, light, or safety. Now let's unpack this slowly, because this is not just about Wike. This is about a system that allows people to rise to power, sit on billions of naira of public funds, and then move that money abroad with no consequences. So war is not new to controversy, but one thing we cannot deny is that he has consistently raised questions that many in the corridors of power would rather sweep under the rug. His petition to the US authorities is not only bold but strategic, because he knows that Nigeria's anti-corruption agencies are either compromised, toothless, or selectively active. EFCC will chase small boys doing yahoo yahoo, but the big men who loot billions walk free, smiling in Agbada at public functions. Think about this. If the allegations are true, then we are looking at a situation where the resources of Rivers State, one of the richest oil-producing states in Nigeria, were siphoned abroad instead of being invested in roads, schools, hospitals, and jobs. And guess what? It is not just Rivers State. From Kano to Lagos, from Abuja to Enugu, governors have turned into overnight billionaires. The same people who once cried about injustice now sit comfortably on the other side of power and milk the system dry. Wike, in particular, has been a controversial figure, loved by some for his charisma and political doggedness, but feared and criticized by others for his ruthlessness and questionable spending. Remember the billions poured into political campaigns, the flashy projects that were more about optics than substance, and the endless media drama? Well, Sowore's petition now shines a light on what many Nigerians have always suspected, that behind the noise lies something darker. And here's the painful part. While all this is happening, Nigerians are suffering more than ever before. The naira has collapsed, food inflation is crushing families, and insecurity is spreading like wildfire. How do you tell a mother who cannot feed her children that billions are being used to buy houses in America? How do you tell the young graduate hustling on the streets of Port Harcourt, driving Bolt or selling recharge cards, that his governor may have been shipping the state's wealth abroad? That is why this story matters. It is not gossip. It is about accountability, justice, and the future of a nation bleeding at the hands of its own leaders. But let's also look deeper. What does it say about Nigeria that we need to run to foreign governments to investigate our leaders? Sowore didn't petition EFCC or ICPC. He went straight to the Florida Attorney General. That alone tells you that Nigerians have lost hope in their own institutions. And that's dangerous, because when a nation's people stop believing in their justice system, when they no longer trust their leaders or even their laws, that's how you breed anarchy, frustration, and eventually revolt. The youths already feel abandoned. They watched as NSARS was brutally suppressed. They've seen elections rigged in broad daylight. They've seen leaders escape with crimes that would land ordinary people in prison for life. So when they hear stories like this, it only fuels more anger. Now let's get practical. What do we do as a people? First, Nigerians must start demanding transparency. It's not enough to complain on social media. Every budget, every allocation, every contract must be followed closely by citizens and civic groups. We must start naming and shaming not just the politicians, but also the banks, lawyers, and contractors who help them launder money. These looters don't move billions by themselves. They have networks of enablers. Expose them. Secondly, we need to push for stronger laws that make it impossible for public officials to own foreign properties while in office. If you are serving Nigeria, your investments should be in Nigeria, not in Florida or Dubai. Thirdly, the youths must get politically active. It's not enough to just troll politicians online, register to vote, join civic movements, run for office, and hold leaders accountable. Because until we replace this crop of politicians with a new generation that values integrity over greed, we will keep going in circles. And to those who will say, oh, Sowore is just chasing clout, let's be honest. Even if you disagree with him, the issues he raises are valid. Nigeria is bleeding billions every year through corruption, whether it's Wike, Tinubu, Atiku, or any of the political heavyweights. The truth is that they have all contributed to this mess. We cannot continue to defend politicians just because they are from our tribe, religion, or party. Poverty has no tribe, insecurity has no religion, bad governance affects us all. Imagine what River State would look like today if all its billions had been used to build industries, create jobs, modernize schools, and develop infrastructure. Instead, we see young men risking their lives in illegal oil bunkering. We see women trekking miles for water. We see children sitting under trees to learn. That is the real crime here, not just the alleged laundering, but the destruction of hope, the stealing of futures, and the betrayal of trust. My people, we must not stay silent. If Sowore's petition is ignored, we must raise our voices louder. If the US finds evidence, Nigerians must demand justice at home, not just abroad. Because until we, the people, show these politicians that the era of impunity is over, they will keep looting while we keep suffering. It is time for a new political consciousness. It is time for Nigerians, especially the youth, to rise above fear, tribalism, and tokenism. We must take back this country from those who have mortgaged it. So as we follow this unfolding story, let it not just be entertainment or gossip. Let it be a wake-up call. If Wike is guilty, he must face justice. If he is innocent, let him clear his name transparently. But either way, Nigerians deserve the truth. Enough of secrecy, enough of impunity, enough of politicians getting rich while the people get poorer. Before I wrap up, I want you to pause and reflect. How long will we allow this cycle to continue? How long will we allow leaders to rob us in daylight and still clap for them at night? My people, it is time to say no. No more looting, no more silence, no more excuses. The future of Nigeria belongs to us, not to the corrupt few. If you agree with me, show some love on this video. Smash that like button, share it with your friends and family, and most importantly, drop your thoughts in the comment section. Do you think Sowore is right to petition the Florida Attorney General? Do you believe Wike should be investigated? Let's hear your voice. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more bold, fearless, and truth-centered content. Nigeria must rise again, and it starts with us refusing to stay silent.